self-love. If you don't value yourself, how would you expect the people out there to come to value you? If you don't place enough value on who you are as a person, how would you then expect other people out there to come to respect you? Because everything is consistent with how you see yourself. As the principle goes, as within, so without. And this is exactly what I would like to talk about over the next few minutes. You don't want to miss this video, alright? Dimitri here. Let's get right into it. Self-love. About 19 years ago, in 2005, Canada had finally decided to put together a postage stamp in honor of one of the finest Canadian people that we knew, by the name of Oscar Peterson. While this was absolutely fantastic as a gesture to finally acknowledge the contributions of one of our very own in Canada, because this gentleman happened to have been born on August 15, 1925 in Montreal in Quebec. So it was definitely a local talent that had gone on to represent Canada. That was in 2005 when we finally decided to put together this postage stamp in honor of this gentleman. So while on the surface this was actually fantastic, something peculiar had happened in the meantime. In 2003, in Austria, a postage stamp had already been issued in honor of the same artist. So it seemed like we as a country were behind in celebrating our very own. And this sentiment was echoed by his daughter, Celine Peterson, at one point when she went to accept or to receive an award on behalf of her father. She said the following thing, and that was definitely a word that stood out to me. She said, "My father has always said the following thing: I want to feel wanted at home. I want to be respected at home. I want to be honored at home." Because somehow it felt like the people outside were acknowledging the talents that he had, the contribution that he was bringing to the table. And we as a country were late in acknowledging what this gentleman was actually doing on the road. Thank goodness, because this gentleman managed to have developed enough self-love to the point where he did not engage in any type of self-destructive behaviors that many of his friends had eventually indulged in because of all the inconsistencies between the celebration without when they will leave the North American continent and how they will feel less than celebrated at home. And this is something really key. Why am I talking about this gentleman? And why am I talking about this particular statement he made that his daughter had to echo when she was receiving this award? Because at the end of the day, if you don't pay attention around you, there are many people who on the outside are absolutely happy, on the outside absolutely fulfilled, but deep inside they are feeling absolutely like not enough, because they feel like they're not receiving enough love, enough celebration for what they're doing out there. That's just number one. Number two, there are also many people who on the outside look they're actually doing fantastically well, but deep inside when you get to know them, you come to realize that these people are actually grieving because they feel like con men and con women. They feel like they don't belong. Why? Because self-love has never been actually implemented or developed in these people. And in this particular video, I'm going to give you only 5 strategies to consider that can help you fast track your progress from where you are now to a place where you're going to start actually loving yourself and coming to a place you're going to start valuing yourself, and from that point the people outside also are going to come to value your work. Let me just go with the principle. The principle is very simple. So ET cap. So what is ET cap? ET is first of all environment. E stands for environment. You have to pay close attention to the environment, the internal environment of who you are. Why is this particularly important? I'll just give you one demonstration. Let's just pretend that you have a very beautiful, pure water that you want to give someone that you love very much. But in the midst of bringing that cup, the water to the person, you decide to go to the somewhere very filthy. You go to the toilet and you take a cup. You put the cup in the toilet, and you actually just don't even clean it. You bring the cup, and the person is actually seeing what you're doing. And you bring the cup to the person, and you take the water and you pour the water into that cup, and you want to give it to that person to drink. What do you think is going to happen? I'm sure they'll be horrified, they'll be mortified. They will simply walk away from you believing that something is wrong with you. While this demonstration may be actually extreme, but it's precisely what we do on a daily basis. We take the best of the best as far as what we have as a talent, and we want to put it in filthy environment within. And we want the same container, nesting container, to be acknowledged and to be valuable to people out there. Because people are going to say, no, I can see talent, but the way you're actually carrying yourself is less than consistent with the type of people I want to spend time with. So I'm simply going to ignore you. And you're going to start looking at yourself and say, my goodness, what is wrong with these people? There's absolutely nothing wrong with these people. The only thing for you to do is to consider the following. The first thing that you have to consider as far as getting to a place of healthy self-love is the following. Pay attention to the internal environment in which you're going to be nourishing your talents. Pay attention to who you are deep within. Pay attention to the garden of your heart. Make sure that if there's any weed, you remove it, or make sure that you attend to the garden so you can actually grow the most beautiful flowers. Because the environment in which you be nurturing your talent, the environment in which you be nurturing who you are, is going to be reflected in how you be dealing with yourself in the midst of other people. And if the environment is not properly attended to, people will simply say, yes, why should I pay attention to so and so? Because I can see that so and so deep inside has nothing but self-hatred. Self-denigration is basically what they practice on a daily basis, and it's evident in how they carry themselves. So I don't want anything to do with so and so. So again, the first thing you have to pay attention to is the environment, the internal environment. What does T stand for? You have to learn to practice gratitude, being thankful for who you are, being thankful for where you're coming from, being thankful for where you are right now. Because if you internalize any negative message about who you are, where you're coming from, and where you are right now, what's going to happen is you're going to start looking yourself and simply say, I don't like so and so, and because you don't like so and so, the same thing is going to be translated into the people's heart who will be dealing with you. They'll simply say, so and so doesn't like themselves. Why should I bother liking them? So of course it's not gonna happen. What does CAP stand for? You have now to develop the commitment to simply clean this internal environment and keep it clean. Number 3. Number 4, you simply have now to commit to adjusting any self-dialogue, any self-relationship you have with yourself. You have to learn to adapt it so that even when you actually catch yourself saying anything less than worthy about yourself, you can adjust it so that the self inside can know that yes, this is definitely someone who values who we are deep inside. If you've been enjoying this video, please make sure to share it with as many people as possible, and of course don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell so that next time we put together a video you can be amongst the first one to see it. Alright, now back to our presentation. And last but not least, the most important thing is you have to commit to praising yourself. You have to commit to developing the discipline of praising yourself. Not overdoing it, but simply taking the time to look yourself in the mirror and say, yes, my goodness, I love so and so, and you are absolutely amazing when it comes to X, Y, Z. You always ever have key points as to why you want to praise yourself. Key specific thing you actually notice about yourself that you have to praise yourself about on a daily basis. Because the more you practice that, my friend, the more you're gonna come to a place where you're gonna start slowly but surely developing a very healthy relationship with yourself, and from that point the value of who you are is going to be translated in the value I'm going to be seeing in you, and you're going to now come to a place where you're going to avoid any type of self-destructive relationship as far as who you are. Self-sabotage will never be part of who you're going to be as far as your legacy is concerned. All right, much love everyone. I'm out. Take good care.